Nikki Yanofsky.
Hi, I'm Erica M. Tony Bennett described her as the most talented singer since Judy Garland. She's played Carnegie Hall, the Lincoln Center, and the Kennedy Center, toured with Marvin Hamlisch, performed with the legendary Count Basie Orchestra, collaborated with influential hip-hop artist Wyclef Jean. She released a tribute to one of her favorite singers, Ella Fitzgerald, and sung both the national anthem and the theme song for the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. Sounds like a veteran performer, right? Well, she is, at the ripe old age of 16. Songstress Nikki Yanofsky has just released her first studio album called Nikki, and she's on a trajectory to superstardom. Once again, at the concert hall, here's the sensational Nikki Yanofsky. You're back at the concert hall. I'm Erica M. and Nikki Yanofsky. You are so talented beyond your years. You're a very unusual girl, and your choice of music is unusual. 12 years old, you discovered Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
What was it about the music of Ella Fitzgerald and the classic songs that attracted you at such a young age?
I don't really know. I've always been a huge music lover. It's just something that's been essential. You know, I always say that music to me is like as essential as oxygen. Without it, I couldn't survive. And that's applied ever since I was like 2. I mean, I don't remember a day that I've gone without music. So, you know, I guess as I grew up, I started out listening to, you know, like any 2-year-old, like lullabies and nursery rhymes or whatever. And then I had when I was 4, I had like a 2-week Britney Spears phase. And then I went to Christina Aguilera. And then I went to the Beatles and Aretha Franklin and Stevie Wonder. And I couldn't get enough. And my parents, you know, my whole family's music oriented. We just love it. And they're the ones that pretty much showed me all great music. But then I actually showed them jazz, which is strange. I don't know how I discovered Ella Fitzgerald. I was 12, and I think my singing coach at the time brought me a song and said, I want you to sing this song, just try it. And it was an Ella song, and then from then on, I was like obsessed. I went through like a phase where I had to learn every single song that I possibly could, and I just like, she was like my favorite.
But why? What is it about that style of music that so attracts you?
You know, I don't even know if it's that style. It's just music in general. But I think that jazz is like timeless. You know, it's been around for so long. It's one of the original art forms, and it's just, I just feel that it doesn't go out of style. It's been around. There's a reason why it's been around since like the early 20s. You know.
Yeah,
like,
you know what's so interesting? The songs that you've chosen on your record, many of them are the ultimately recorded songs. They're the songs that have been recorded by so many amazing vocalists. What do you think you bring to the songs like God Bless a Child, the song that's been recorded so many times? What do you bring to it that's different?
I think that just being just being someone different, you know, like, I mean, like, I'm going to sing it differently than Billie Holiday would. I'm going to sing it differently than, you know, like Blood, Sweat, and Tears did. You know, it's just, I think the fact that I'm a different person is different enough. But basically, I bring, you know, my own spin to it.
I think it's really interesting that you chose as your songwriting partner Jesse Harris. Do you guys know who he is? He's the amazing songwriter that worked with Norah Jones. How did that collaboration work out for you?
Actually, it was me, Jesse, and Ron Sexsmith, who's like, both of them are one of my favorite writers of all time, and to be able to work with them, I couldn't get over it. And it's actually our management that pretty much got us together. And they came into Montreal one night, and we all went out for dinner. I think it was like sushi of sorts. I don't even like sushi, but I just went. And then the next day they came over, and we went to my basement and started writing. And we knocked off like 3 songs in one day, and it was like that every time we got together to write. I just think that we found good chemistry. And I felt like I'd known them for a really long time, even though I met them the day before. So I was really, really happy to work with them.
And I'm really happy that you're here to perform for us. So if you wouldn't mind, Nikki Yanofsky to do another song for us here at the concert hall. Thank you. Nikki Yanofsky is with us here, and I'm going to get a little personal with you.
Oh, okay.
I can't imagine what life is like for you. You are still in school, and yet, at the same time, not.
Yeah.
What is it like now that you are in the public eye, and then you drop into school, and you're with your old friends? What's that scene like for you now?
I never ever talk about it in school. I always say, check your ego at the door, and that's what, you know, you have to leave it at the door and just go into school and act.
Yeah, but it's not you, it's the reaction that your friends have.
Yeah, at the beginning they had no idea, you know, because it wasn't like, I guess, as global as it's become with I Believe in the Olympics and all those great opportunities that I've had. And now they're starting to kind of know, and my friend Erin was like to me, she's like, Nikki, you know that when you walk by, people know who you are in school and everywhere, and I don't realize it. You know, I think when it's happening to you, you don't realize it as much as when it's happening to someone that you're seeing the reactions and stuff. I just don't pay so much attention to it. But everyone's very, very supportive. You know, it's not like I get treated any differently from my teachers, or my friends still tell me to be quiet if I'm singing too much. You know, my brothers, and they're the first ones to be, Nikki, be quiet, we're trying to play Call of Duty.
And your parents are very involved in your life, not just personally, but they're actually involved in the business end. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I couldn't do any of this without my parents, that's for sure. My parents are so supportive. And I think it's really important that if you have a dream, that you really have to have someone behind you who is willing to, you know, to really put all of their support and all their energy into it. And I have that in my parents, I have that in my family and my friends, so it's really great.
You've been described as a young Judy Garland by someone as amazing as Tony Bennett.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Okay, well, that's a funny story, actually. I was in New York, and I went to Madame Tussauds Museum of Wax, and I saw Tony Bennett's wax, whatever, you know, like he has the one made out of him. And I took a picture of it, and then later that night, he came to my show. And it was so weird. I'm like, why is he at my show? Like, I should be at your show. And I actually had the flu when he saw me perform. Like, I was just getting over being sick. But he had a party that he had to go to, and he said that he was only to stay for half the set, and I was so lucky that he stayed for all of it, except he left right before the encore because he was late. So I never got to meet him, and he was at my show. He was talking to my parents, and he was a really sweet guy, and he said that nice thing, and yeah.
So what do you think about it? What do you think about him saying, describing you or comparing you to Judy Garland?
I take it as an extreme compliment. I mean, especially coming from Tony Bennett. It couldn't, you know, I was so happy when I heard that.
And your album was produced by Phil Ramone,
yeah,
who worked with Frank Sinatra. So what did he teach you about the recording process?
Phil Ramone is, you know, has worked with anybody who's anybody. I couldn't believe the fact that he wanted to work with me. He brought so much to the studio. He's so accomplished, and yet he's so modest, and he's so humble, and it's great to see that in somebody who has accomplished so much in their life, and he's just the warmest guy. Every time I see him, I just want to give him a big hug, and I do usually. I just run out to him, Phil!
Sounds kind of like you, doesn't it?
Thank you.
Well, it's so great meeting you in person. You have an amazing career ahead.
Thank you
but
very
the
much.
show's not over yet. Will you do some more for us?
Of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nikki Yanofsky.
Thank you.
Thank you.